Alright guys, so this is my refugium and sump that I built from scratch. It's my first attempt at ever building a refugium or a sump and I think it came out okay for my first time. The reason I built it from scratch was I couldn't find a tank with the right size that I wanted that would be able to fit inside my Biocube stand. I think the smallest tank I could find, which was like a 10-gallon breeder tank or something like that, was about 2 inches wider than what my tank would than what my stand would hold. So kind of took some inspiration from Archangel and a couple other guys out there on YouTube that I've seen who have built custom sumps for their systems, specifically the Biocube. So this is what I came up with, and the first thing you're going to notice is that it's not the typical design where you have, you know, like one chamber here, one chamber in the middle, and you have another chamber for the return. It's more like a U, so the return and the skimmer actually are on the same half of the tank, but it's being divided by this glass going across here. And what happens is that the water will come down here from the return, not from the return, from the overflow, and then overflow into this section here, which I plan on using for the refugium with a deep sand bed. And then after it goes around, it basically comes over here and overflows into the return section, which will have my pump. There's a side view. There's basically this baffle here is in the back for the skimmer. This one here is in the front for the return section. I don't have a bubble trap. I believe this skimmer does not provide too much or create too much bubbles. Oh, and by the way, this is the eShop's S120 economy skimmer. So I think it's rated up to 120 gallons. So that should be pretty good for my system. It's oversized for a 29-gallon. I went with this one because, you know, I wanted a decent sized skimmer. I didn't want to do like a nano skimmer like the ones that I've done in the past, like the Tunzi 9 or Tunzi 9002 or the Slim Skim Nano. And there's a couple others that are out there. I wanted to go big because I know my tank is overstocked and I plan on stocking it more with corals. And I wanted to go for something that's really quiet. So from what I've read and seen online, this is one of the most quiet skimmers that, you know, that's not a nano skimmer, you know, a decent size and be quiet at the same time. So we'll see how that works out. And yeah, I mean, I don't have a bubble trap on this yet, so but if there is a case where I need to have a bubble trap, I'm pretty sure I should be able to simply add in another baffle, you know, maybe in front of this one here. But for now, we're gonna leave it, see how it comes out, and see if any micro bubbles get into the tank after the break-in period. So that's it. Real excited about the build. Once I get this installed, you know, then I can start adding my SPS corals and stuff like that. Because right now I'm not adding anything to the tank until I get my parameters under control. They're pretty low. I mean, my nitrates are low. I don't have any phosphates or detectable phosphates, but I know there's something in there because a frog spawn is one of the most hardy corals, and you know, a frog spawn doesn't just die on you like that. And even a couple of zoanthids are not doing too good. It's kind of weird. It's like the hardy corals are not doing good, and the harder ones are doing okay, like the Duncan. I don't get it, but anyway. So this is the next part, making my tank a little bit better. So stay tuned. Oh, before I go, I did coat my inside of the Biocube with this thing. I went to Home Depot. It's called Plastidip. Basically, it's a rubber sealant in a spray form. I sprayed the inside of the tank, or inside of the stand. I gave it 2 coats, inside of the doors. I'm not taking any chances when this thing gets installed creating moisture, because the Biocube stand is not hardwood. It's kind of like press board or some kind of soft board that, you know, if water gets on it, it'll easily basically shell out or get bubbly. So that's it for now, and stay tuned until hopefully my next video will show when I get this thing in there. I'm gonna get working on the overflow, which is going to be the hardest part. And I know, like I said, I mean, my main thing is being silent, or as silent as possible. So getting that overflow quiet might be the hardest part of the whole build. But anyway, stay tuned.